Hey guys, in today's video, we are going to talk about the people that you need, the support team that you need during your job search, during a job or career transition or even pivot. So for those of you who are new, my name is Katie. I am a career coach here with Career Sprout, where on average it takes us about 63 days to grow somebody's salary by about $37,000. So one of the biggest aspects of one of the biggest variables, the biggest factors of our student success is building their support team. And each person's support team is going to look a little bit different. And this is not news to anybody that, who you know matters, right? Networking is important, all of that stuff. But what most people don't realize is that it doesn't matter who is in your network today. A lot of people think just because they don't have, really well-connected friends or families or acquaintances that doesn't apply to them. The best part about building your support team is that you don't have to know any of those people today. And I was reading a book, it's called Who Not How. It's by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. Very, very good book so far, at least. And it's a great example it walks through a lot of great examples of really successful people that their talent alone was not enough for them to get where they needed to go. Michael Jordan is a great example. He was arguably one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He did not win a championship until a couple things happened. One, he needed to find somebody to support him on the team. They got Scottie Pippen in, and this is a brief overview. Then even with Scottie, they still didn't win. They still got beat up by the Pistons. So he also needed a really good coach who knew how to build a really good team around Michael Jordan. And then on top of that, Michael Jordan also had Tim Grover, his personal, health, fitness, mindset coach, really. And it wasn't until he had all of those who's in his life that he started winning championships. Very similar in your job search. It doesn't matter how technically good you are at whatever your skill is, whether you are a coder or a project manager or in HR, in operations, sales, marketing, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter just how good you are at your job. Yes, that's an important part, but who you know and the support team that you have around you during those transitions is exponentially more important. So a couple of people that that are most successful students, these are the people that they had on their, support team roster. They had a list of the companies that they wanted to go work with, and then they started building into their, support team the executives that worked at those companies. So executives and hiring managers at those companies. The other people on their rosters, occasionally, not always, recruiters. Then the other people is their peers, or whether that's alumni that went to their same college or, just coworkers, whatever the case may be, who had connections, what we call weak connections or your weak connections, where it's not just your inner circle of people, it's your inner circle of people and then the web of people that are connected to each of those. That's typically where most of the beneficial relationships come from, because the people in your inner circle, you a lot of times have a lot of shared experiences, and I'm not making this up, comes from somebody, and I wish I could remember their name, but I'm blanking on it at the moment, where your best opportunities often come from those weak connections or your outer circle, because the people in your inner circle, you typically have shared experiences, you typically live in the same place, know the same, know all of the same opportunities, so you've got to go 1 degree out from that. And so your team, you're going to have executives and hiring managers, you'll have sometimes recruiters, and then you'll have your peers. And a great place to go look for these peers, some of them you will obviously already know, other ones will be in user groups, again, alumni communities, even just people who are at the same, career rung as you at other companies, all sorts of places where these potential peers hang out. Then the other two buckets are, and people could argue that there's 3 buckets. I'm going to argue that there's 2. Mentors and coaches, I'm going to put into 1 bucket. These are people who want to see you succeed or invested in you being successful. Now, some people will split them up because typically a mentor is somebody who just wants to give back, not always, and typically a coach is somebody that you will hire to help you achieve, whatever transformation you're looking for. So that's a very important part. This is somebody who either has done, they're 20 years out from you and they've already done what you want to do. And this is good for any aspect of your life, especially a job transition, or it's a coach like Career Sprout, or there's plenty of career coaches out there where they've already done or they've already helped an amount of people go through the transformation that you're looking to get. So it's mentors and coaches. And then the last bucket is professionals. These are the people who they are about 10 years, 5 to 15 years, I would say, out from where you are right now. And they are the people who are the best of the best at whatever it is you're looking to transition into. These are the people who have product knowledge or process knowledge or some knowledge that has allowed them that has granted them the reputation of being one of the best. If you can connect with these people, this is, in my opinion, one of the most important people to have on your support team, because they have already been through it. Oftentimes they've already learned from somebody, a mentor, coaches, so they can point you in that direction. They've already been through it, and you can learn not only from their successes, but more importantly, learn from their mistakes. And a really important thing that I want to leave you guys with is most people are not, struggling because they're lazy. Yes, there are some people who are lazy, just not putting in the effort. That's generally not the case though. Oftentimes people get hit roadblocks or they get stuck or they plateau or they're in a rut, not because they're lazy, but because they're focusing on the wrong things. They're typically doing too many things. And so one of the key things that you want to look at as you're speaking with, the executives and hiring managers, your peers, professionals, mentors, or coaches, as you're speaking with those people, something that you want to ask or something you want to look at is, hey, what am I doing that they are not doing? Or what am I doing that they didn't do when they were at my stage? And that's a really good question to ask somebody, because oftentimes you're hitting these roadblocks not because you're not trying, but because you're putting your effort into the wrong things. And oftentimes it's such a weight. I see it happen with our students all the time. When we pick that weight up and it's, hey, these are the only 5 steps you need to focus on, go do these 5 steps in sequential order and you'll get here. As soon as they see that process, and there's plenty of videos on YouTube where we talk more about that, so I won't go too in depth here, but as soon as they see that process and they just throw out all of the other effort that they were doing, the online applications, reaching out to recruiters, like all of that stuff, once that goes away, it becomes very simple for them to just look and say, this is what I need to do today, this is what I need to do tomorrow, this is what I need to do the next day. And for them to chunk through and take action on each of those steps, that's why we're able to grow people's salaries so quickly and really condense the amount of time. And they'll typically only spend about 3 to 5 hours per week, and it still only takes them on average 63 days to accept job offers. So typically, once you're focused on the right things, by week 3, you'll be getting interviews. You should be consistently getting interviews. And then from that point, you should be, if you're interviewing well, you should be consistently getting job offers from those interviews. And so once you go through that process, at least in our experience with our students, when you go through that process and you really streamline it, really simplify it, you're able to really build your team of people that can help speed up this process for you and really get where you want to go a lot quicker. So hopefully that helps you guys. A big thing to focus on here is focusing on who you need to have on your team so that you can focus just on the most important things. So with that, I hope you guys are having a good one and talk soon.